Okay, this is going to be another quick live. Okay, I'm coming and coming and coming. Welcome in. This is Ocean Yemi. Please come in. Leave your comments in the replay and tell me what you think of this, and we can talk later. Later on in the comment section. And yeah, so as you know, I put up a let me put it on, let me just close it. As you know, I put up a picture of a lady which what I thought was DV, but it wasn't. Right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show her telling the story from start to finish. I'm not gonna interrupt, and then I'm gonna do commentary later on because I won't be able to say nothing right now, right? So I'm just going to play each segment of the story, and you will hear for yourself because I've seen somebody else put it out and they're saying it's DV. I thought it was DV as well, but it wasn't DV. So I'm going to play it, and then you can hear the story for yourself.
And have long-term consequences. That is financial, mental, physical, emotionally. None of it is acceptable. Yes, for everybody that said, oh, clout, she's doing this for clout. Exactly that. Because I am living a few different type of abuse all at the same time. And I'm trying to share my story without saying too much, because they will be hit with a lawsuit. The club will be hit with a lawsuit. My ex-husband will be hit with a lawsuit. And the girl that physically harmed me will be hit with a lawsuit. For the people that are only here for the physical part, just know that I will tell the story. I am just in the works of getting some things done with the authorities, and I will share the tea. Just be patient. For anybody that's saying, oh, she's just doing this for class, she's just doing, yes. No, exactly, because I'm going to have to live with the I plated a plate of random stuff that I love to eat because I'm not that hungry, but I need to eat something. So let's eat together while I talk about what happened to me physically, what happened in a club, and what happened with the girl. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, you should go look on my page. It's basically talking about the lead up, how I ended up at the club, and yeah, and then come back watch this one. Now, just for a little bit of like a backstory, I left my home, my parents' home, since like I was 16. Since I was 16, I was on my own, and I kind of always fend for myself. I don't trust a lot of people. That environment back home, that's another story. It was really hard. It's not for nothing I left it. Hindsight, so I went to the United States, was with my husband. He was basically making us homeless sometimes where everything he ever dreamed of. I got sick of it. He shipped my stuff away, and so now I'm going to work at the club to put me and my daughter in a better situation. Because even though I have my mom, I am still traumatized from my childhood. So I cannot stand being in that house. I cannot stand being in that house. And especially that, everybody's there. So I'm grieving. I'm going through a lot. There's everybody. We're 6 kids. There was only me and my older sisters that weren't living at home anymore. There's my stepdad. There's my mom. There's my grandma. There's my grandpa. There is my aunt, my uncle. It was just so busy. So I took that time, dropped off my daughter, and I decided to go make money to get me and my daughter out of that situation. So the club contacts me, tells me, hey, do you want to come? We'll send you a driver. And keep in mind, that's a club that already had shady business. Like, they had to close the club down because it had shady business. And so they reopened the club, a different place right beside it. But But it's like if it was exactly the same club anyways that they reopened after a few years. So I get in the driver, I get to the club, and I see the girls already there, and there's some girls that I have seen before, and then most of them I don't. So to them, they think I'm a newbie, I'm a new girl. And anyways, I could see some of them were giving me attitude, but I'm a very polite girl. I'm very respectful. I keep it light and I keep it moving. I don't like people in my zone. I keep people very surface level, especially in that environment, because to be honest, once your spiritual eye has opened, you can see through them bitches. So I'm getting ready, all of that. I go see the client downstairs, and then I get back upstairs and get ready. Now it's like if she saw how I moved and was already taking a lot of interest in me. She was complimenting me a lot and giving me a lot of attention. But there was just something about her that was like kind of unsettling. So not too long after, she comes see me. She's like, "Hey, I have a client. I think he will love you." And she comes to get me. And I follow her. And the second I get there, I get weird vibes. Like the second I get in the VIP zone, I get weird vibes from her. So I'm like, she says, "Hi, to your client, we're back." And I'm like, "Oh, hi." And she looks at me and she's like, "Shh, shh." I was like, "Oh, hell no. Oh, get me out of here. Get me out of here." I knew something was up. Like I didn't like the vibe. So right away I was like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna go. I'll be like, let's make money like later." Like, and she spent 3 to 7 minutes saying sorry for the way she's acting and how she's coming off, and she doesn't mean to be rude to me. I'm like, "No, no, no, there's no problem, no biggie, like woosah, like let's go have a shot." So I keep it light, right? So she doesn't think we have beef. Now she's like, why are you saying that? If I'm saying sorry and like you're still leaving, why don't you stay? So at some point I kind of felt bad. So I stayed there for like a dance or two. But her energy was so dark. My discernment was like kicking in, and I could not unsee like how she's smiling, but I could see a dark energy on her. And it was so unsettling. Also, I have to say there was something about my personality that she loved and hate at the same time. Like she would even turn to the client and tell him like, "Oh my god, like she's so pretty, like she's different. The clients are gonna love her. We're gonna make so much money. We're gonna make so much money together. Together, we're gonna make so much money." And in my head, I'm like, well, I'm gonna make money like regardless. But I like how about you finish up with your client? Let me finish getting ready, and we'll see each other later. So I try to keep it like kiki, like light, and I go outside for some fresh air because I like, I'm shaky while I'm talking about that. I instantly felt like uneasy, like I felt her spirit. So I go outside for some air, and while I go back upstairs, I hear her like where the ladies sleep upstairs, the club, like where our bedrooms are. I could hear her talking. So I stay in the stairs, and she's talking about me, and she's being like, "Oh, bitches are so ungrateful, girls are so ungrateful," and saying all these things. But me, at that point, I was there to make money. I'm focused on getting me and my daughter on our feet, and I was not gonna fight with. It's so funny how people thinks that I just don't want to share the full story, or I'm half-ass sharing the story. Guys, have you seen my eye? Have you seen the bruises I have on my body? Just give me time to share the story. Okay, there was legal things that I needed to get in order before coming out here and sharing the full story. But I still wanted an impact because this is my life. These are things that are going to affect me for a long time, if not forever. I am prescribed medication for PTSD, for anxiety, for all the side effects that this whole thing will have on my life. If you have been following me for a while now, or maybe at least a year ago, you probably knew that I was getting married. I was moving to the United States. And if you don't know, I'm Canadian, I'm French Canadian. So when I moved to the United States, since I didn't have citizenship, a green card yet, and all of that, my husband had to leave, like take care of me. He had to take care of me because I couldn't work in another country illegally. That kind of resulted in him having a lot of power on me and my daughter, and basically on our life, because literally our life was in his hands. I want to go ahead and mention that before being with this man, I had a thriving life. I was a creator here on TikTok. I modeled. I had my own house. I had my daughter that was growing, that had her own room and her stuff. And basically, we took a gamble. We took a gamble moving to the States to be with my husband. Without getting into too much details, since he knew I had anxiety, he would use those tactics to scare me into submission, basically. It's like if he kind of would create chaos on purpose. So that would destabilize me and I would need him more. I'm not going to get into too much about my relationship because I still have love for him. After a while of going through like the mental abuse and financial abuse, uh, I said enough is enough. So I needed a break. So I went to visit my mom for the summer. And since all the other kids were going to be there, it was going to be perfect for me to get a break. Now, when we ended up visiting, he told me to not come back and he shipped all my belongings. Well, actually, not really all my belongings because he's saving. Listen to this. He's saving things that he didn't even buy for me just to have something on me. Obviously, when me and my daughter were at my mom's house, he financially blocked us from everything. So cards gone, all my belongings that are like designer or anything that he didn't buy, he kept it all. It was just a way to kind of traumatize me, and I said enough is enough. Like enough is enough, and I was not gonna beg for my place back because he already stripped us of everything and humiliated us. But I let it go. I let it go. And I knew I was having to start over. And I knew that was the last time that he was letting me and my daughter in that type of environment and situation. And I said, enough was enough. So I decided that I was going to work at the club. Hindsight, that's how the second situation happened. Now, something that was my mistake is that instead of writing domestic violence, I should have wrote domestic abuse, which are very close. And guys, I mean, I was going through a lot. I was at the hospital when I posted this. Everything was heating. I didn't think anything more than what it is. To me, it almost sounded the same, and it was just a simple mistake. I mean, the second that I heard why people were a little confused, I corrected it. And that should have just been the end of it because that's not the point of all of this. There was not going to be a second where I was going to blame a man for doing this to me because it was a hurt. It's so funny how people think that I just don't want to share the full story or I'm half-ass sharing the story. Guys, have you seen my eye? Have you seen the bruises I have on my body? Just give me time to share the story. Okay, there was legal things that I needed to get in order before coming out here.
It sounds so familiar to what Holly and Citizens situation. That was, I did it back to front actually. I did part 2 first and then part 1, but I'm gonna go to the next one. So you can hear the full story, because I think it's right to hear the full story, because yes, when you see her eye, you literally jump to conclusion. You think it's DV. But like she says, it wasn't the man who did it, it was a woman who did it to her, right? So I just want to get that point straight.
I didn't say it, Jesus did. Look at this. That's the prime example of be around people that are like you. You have to be around people that are your tribe. I, as a Christian woman, God gave me gifts. Even when I'm falling, even with what I was gonna do, I still have those gifts. So being in that environment, I sensed her. I saw her beyond her smile, beyond what she was projecting. It was, her energy was so unsettling to me as a spiritual being that, guys, I couldn't even make money with her. I had to say no to making money with her because I was so unsettled by her energy. It was so dark. I couldn't help but to see it. And I had to dismiss myself from that. So that's what started that to begin with. But then what is almost like, is like, imagine being so jealous of somebody that you have been complimenting for the last 10 minutes, by the way, that you were forcing to make money with you. So jealous that you thought you were gonna beat the beauty out of me? Bitch. Also, something in me is telling me I have been targeted. Like, I feel like I have seen her face on here on TikTok. Guys, she follows me. I think she followed me before and she knew who I was. But anyways, I will share the full story on live, maybe in 30 minutes. So, of the story, you gotta be equally yoked. I didn't say it, Jesus did. Look at this. That's the prime example of be around people that are like you. You have to be around people that are your tribe. I, as
So the long and short of this story is that how it wasn't DV, okay? She confirms it. It wasn't DV. It's a woman that she met while she was working with, and the woman physically assaulted her, and that's why she has the black eye. That's why I have to correct the post, right? Because on the hindsight, when you look at her face, right, the first thing comes to your mind, especially when you see her dragging the bag, is, oh my gosh, it's DV, right? But she confirms it. She said it's not DV. She said it was her and a woman that got into an altercation, and that how she got her black eye because of that. So now she's suing them and all what she has to do so that she can get money, because she was working because of her daughter, because because she came from a man who was financially abusing her, etc., which is kind of the same kind of abuse anyway. But any which way, she wasn't assaulted by a man. Okay, the altercation had nothing to do with a man. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to play it specifically. I've been actually thinking about playing it for a little while, but I've been seeing other little things. My jazzy life did actually distract me for a little bit, but these are more important matters at hand, because this lady is going all around the social media that how it was a man who attacked her. But then when they found out it was a woman that attacked her, they had to rebuttal and change what they said in their post and certain stuff, because it would look wrong. And like, you know how it goes on platforms and as well, in it. So she hasn't posted anything since then, but if she does post something else, I will post it up, because it's good to hear the full story, to get the full context, and put everything into context so we know, okay, it is not what it is. Okay, hold on a minute, because my little one's talking. So I'm going to come off, because I wasn't going to say anything really. I was just going to put it up and then talk about it later when little one's asleep. Okay, but please tell me what you think of this in the comments, because it's better to get the story cleared than it's an assumption. We assume, and then you know what I mean. But she obviously put it into context. So with that said, I'm gonna come off because you can hear a young one talking in the background. So with that said, I'll see you later. Take care. Bye.